What up, metas? It's finally phase 4 in the hard mode servers, and I'm able to bring you this Little Jaws big damage build that I have been working on all season. This might even be, let's just call it the best Little Jaws build you've never seen. I think we'll roll with that. The best Little Jaws build you've ever seen. So this build, trust me, it doesn't require hammer slams on the ground, doesn't even require crossbow, and oh, to be honest, I guess it doesn't even require food because as you can see, I'm both hungry and thirsty, and my guy's like pretty starving here. So why don't we do this? Why don't we just go upstairs? Let's head up to the weapon testing room. Let's put this thing to test on an empty stomach, might I add. Let's see. Oh my god, the stairs are so busy at this time of night. And let's see what we can do. So when we take a look at this build, we're gonna take a look at it from the top to the bottom. Let's see if we can get some better light here. Okay, that's cool. All right, so let's take a look at the build. So obviously Little Jaws is our main weapon, right? And everybody knows what unstable bomber does, but just in case you don't, triggers one status damage blast of 100% PSI intensity after 0.1 seconds. Now that's the most important part of this whole thing is the status damage, the blast of 100% PSI intensity, and after 0.1 seconds. So that means once you hit the enemy 15 times, it's a 0.1 second delay for unstable bomber before the bomb explodes. All right. Now, this Little Jaws, it adds plus 0.3 seconds to unstable bomber. So it adds time to the delay, meaning once you proc unstable bomber, now you have 0.4 seconds, almost half a second to wait until that bomb explodes. So you proc unstable bomber, you wait 0.4 seconds, and then you hear boom. All right. Now, the most important top that goes with this is going to be the explosive front top because it adds another 0.3 seconds of delay to unstable bomber plus the 0.4 that you already have is 0.7 seconds on unstable bomber. Now a lot of people just think it's 3 because they think this 3 plus that 3, but they don't take into account the initial 0.1 seconds that you get from unstable bomber itself. So you got over half a second of delay between when the bomb is procced and when the bomb explodes. Now you might be saying, why the hell would I want to do that? You know what I mean? Why wouldn't I just want the bomb to explode immediately? Well, there are a few reasons for that, and it all is kind of seamlessly tied together here. All right, now the most important thing about this weapon is it sprays all over the place, but it does it at 1,000 rounds per minute. So if you see, the fire rate is 1,000, so you got 1,000 fire rate on this gun, and it's going to be completely incredible. And now the mod in this gun is called Bombardier Souvenir, and we're using the talent version. We're going to be using the talent version on almost every mod, if not every mod where we have on in this build. Okay, so Bombardier Souvenir talents, and when triggering unstable bomber, this automatically fills 10% of our magazine. All right, and we got gold elemental blaze and frost shock blast damage of 8% on here. Damage to great ones, we've got damage to normal enemies, and we've got status damage. So this one is like fully aggressive. There's no defensive attributes in this mod, so it's got pretty good rolls on here. I like it. I could do better, but it would be really hard. All right, moving on to the gear, we're using 4 pieces of shelter. All right, 4 pieces of shelter because the shelter gives us elemental damage, which we saw earlier goes straight to our unstable bomber, and then each weapon hit grabs a stack of deviant energy. Deviant energy is equivalent to status damage. It's elemental damage 1%, and it grows up to 20 times, so it can be an additional 20% elemental damage. And you can see if you got 4 pieces on, it increases max stacks. It'll increase the max stacks to 2 additional stacks when hitting a weak spot. All right, and that's cool, but it is what it is. We'll take the basic stacks. For those extra stacks, they do come handy. And then my other piece that I'm using is going to be the Renegade pants, and I'm using these for the reload speed, and I'll explain that when we get to the mod, which will be right now. So if you're looking at, we're using deviation expert talent. Okay, so we're going to get 10% fire rate. That's an extra 100 of on our magazine. So instead of firing at 1,000 rounds, we're firing at 1,100 rounds, and we receive 20% additional status damage. Okay, and then so you see, I have elemental damage, I have status damage on here, max at 6%, so that's 26% status damage. You see, I have mag capacity for the bigger mag, and I have damage against great ones. So this is another like top tier mod in my opinion. This is all go, and I got 2 goals on it, so that's amazing. Onto the mask. On the mask, I'm using delayed blast. Now this ties straight into the actual delay that we were talking about earlier in Unstable Bomber. So before the bomb explodes, for every 5 hits taken, the bomb's ultimate damage is plus 25%. All right, that means in that 0.7 seconds, every time I can hit the enemy with a bullet, doesn't matter where, toe, pinky, arm, head, face, doesn't matter, but as long as I hit them 5 times, I get an extra 25% unstable bomber damage from the bomb. All right, so the final bomb's ultimate damage would be plus 25%. So that's after all the stacks, you can add on 25 additional percent damage for the bomb. And if I hit it 10 times, that'd be 50%, right? But keep that in mind, which why we have that fire rate so high, because the more bullets we can put into the enemy, the more we can make that bomb go boom. All right, on my chest, I'm using endurance shield. Now I see a lot of people using just like regular status enhancement mods for the chest or whatever. I like a little bit of defense too. So this is whenever I'm out of combat, I gain 1 stack of safe haven every 5 seconds. I can stack up to 5 times. For every 5 damage received, you remove 1 stack of safe haven, and I gain an 8% shield for 3 seconds. So that means like if I get hit enough times, it removes a stack of safe haven, but it also gives me an 8% shield for 3 seconds, so I can recover a little bit, get the groove on. And you see I got elemental blaze. It's purple, almost gold, not quite there. I wish I could have got there, but I couldn't. But I did get magazine capacity at 12%, and that came in so handy, because that allowed me to use Renegade to recoup some of the reload speed I lost from the calibration on the SMG, which is the heavy style calibration. If I didn't say that earlier, we're using heavy style calibration on the SMG to get the bigger mag, and I'll explain that to you in 1 second. On the pants, I'm using status application talents. Now this is going to be the best mod, because even though you got a big mag, you're going to need to reload, and when you do, you get status damage plus 10% for 12 seconds. That's enough to keep this up almost forever, and it stacks 3 times, so it can stack up to, you know, just keep the stacks 3 times. So that's 36 seconds total. It can stack to, because it can stack 12, and then on top of that another 12, and on top of that another 12, and etc, etc, and it'd be 10% that entire time. And you see I have mag capacity once again, damage against normal enemies, and obviously the element blaze. And I wish I can get a higher version of this, but this mod for me has been so hard to find. Even through mod conversion, been difficult to find with the magazine capacity and the elemental blaze damage, and then be able to get all of them pretty high, because I have 3 purples on here and 1 blue. So then for the gloves, we're using elemental overload. So it's just gonna give us a flat elemental damage, which we want because this affects our bomb. Then as you see, we got damage great ones, more mag capacity, weapon damage reduction. I wish I could find a better version of this mod, but this one too has just been eluded me. Just being able to get the rolls that I want to get, being able to get it the way I want. So I'd rather just keep this one with the gold damage against great ones, because it really does help against the bosses. And lastly but not least, we're using covered advance. And so I got a gold elemental blaze. I didn't really like any of the other talents, so I decided just to save my mod parts. I'm still looking for a better version, but can't beat gold on my elemental blaze and everything like that. Okay, so back to the weapon. Let's make sure our weapon's out. Okay, weapon is out, and you can see here we've got 106% blaze elemental damage, 68% status damage, 25% bonus damage to bosses, 22% to common enemies. So bosses and common enemies, we shred through them. Fire rate 1100 rounds, mag capacity is 76. Now, reason that's important: every 15 rounds you proc unstable bomber. So if you can get your magazine in multiples of 15, you can count the unstable bomber procs, right? So being that we have 76 rounds in the mag, that's 5 unstable bomber procs. 5 times 15 is 75. So we can proc unstable bomber 5 times. But that's not all. Why? Because the mod on this weapon, when triggering unstable bomber, automatically refills 10% of the magazine. Okay, so go back here. You're automatically filling 10% of the magazine. That's 7 bullets. So every time we proc unstable bomber, we receive 7 bullets. We proc unstable bomber 5 times. 5 times 7 is 35. That's an additional 35 bullets in the mag. Unstable bomber procs every 15 rounds. That's an additional 2 unstable bomber procs. So in theory, if you hit every bullet in the mag against the target, you'll proc unstable bomber 7 times. Right? That math is easy and it's always there. Right? So now this is just using this as my secondary weapon for the balanced enemies, and whatever sidearm you want to use is your choice. But yeah, that's the deal. Now, my shelter hat, mask are both 4 stars. All my other shelter gear is 2 stars, and my renegade is also 2 stars. My explosive front top is just 1 star. Now this build is unstable bomber. Unstable bomber is based on psi intensity. So your mask, your hat, they give you the most psi intensity. So if you look at here, I have 185 psi intensity here, 148 psi intensity here. And so that's why I upgrade these 2 before anything else, because they're going to give you the most psi intensity. Pants and gloves next, or yeah, in that order, and then the shoes will be the last thing you'll want to upgrade if you're trying to increase the psi intensity. All right, so if you look at my guy, my psi intensity is 908. All right, so all of my unstable bomber damage isn't going to this damage, but it actually is based on that damage. So all of the 25%, the 50%, the 20% extra, the 30% extra from all of that comes from this right here. All right, now I know you want to see it in action, and like I said, you can see I'm still hungry. And I know somebody will say, when the numbers pop up, they'll say, oh man, look at the buffs. Well, let's look at the buffs. So this is talents. This is me granting 1 stack of deviant energy. Every stack of deviant energy grants 1%. All right, I got 5 stacks. This is endurance shield. When out of combat, gain 1 stack of safe haven every 5 seconds. Stack up to 5 times. You see, I got 5 stacks. This is covered advance. So you can see the timer on covered advance. When it goes down, you lose your extra damage. When it comes back up, you have your extra damage. And here's safe haven. This is because I've been in my territory, so my energy and hydration are lost. So these are the buffs. There's no food buffs. There's no starving. All right, current load, I'm less 20%. All right, right now stamina recovery speed minus 7%, movement speed minus 20%. So yeah, my sanity will decline. So my sanity, my sanity is out the roof. So I'm in the middle of a fight. All right. So we're gonna go with a full mag, no deviant. You've been watching, there's no crossbow. Let's assume we want to hit every target in the head, and when you're fighting, you want to be close. This SMG, bad sprays, okay? So to hit your target, you want to be in the face of it. 69,000. That's crazy, right? This is the third reload. We'll see. It's 600k damage on the third reload. And you saw bombs going off 70k, 80k. Now, let's put out the deviant. This is Shatter Maiden. He's gonna infect unstable bomber damage directly. Alright. You see that damage? 101, 107. And that's because we've got her with us. But yeah, these numbers can get really outrageous if you bring your deviant. And that, well, that's the best unstable bomber build you've never seen. And you may never see it again. I don't know. We need some more mods. But yeah. So I guess I'll show you guys some real in-game footage so you can see what the build really does. And you don't just have to take my word for it, you know what I'm saying? Pretty good build. Catch you later.